Welcome to the Bold Book of the Day with Dr. Denise Nicholson, a show that is a central hub and safe space for authors to share their stories. The Bold Book with Dr. Denise begins now.
Hello, welcome back to the Bold Book of the Day. This podcast is for anyone looking for inspiration. Today's guest has built an extraordinary career across fashion, textiles, skincare, and philanthropy. And over the 3 decades, she is shown to be nothing less than resilient. Her story brought her here today. Let's have a conversation. Please welcome Miss Tina Weiss.
Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for having me.
Tina, let's start. Let's start with Italy, okay? You know what? Let's start before Italy.
Okay.
Before we get to Italy, take us back to the years leading up to that trip. What was life like for you?
In 2018, I reopened my children's foundation, Hugs and Smiles Children's Foundation, when I actually had moved to Florida. Back in '02, I had Hugs and Smiles, and I helped kids get adopted at that time. I left California, I moved to Florida. And in 2018, I knew I had to reopen the foundation because I love working with kids. But what I did realize is that instead of just placing one child in a home, I realized being around music, art, and dance elevates everyone. And kids are struggling. I don't care whether you're from a wealthy family, a poor family, a middle class family. Everyone is struggling, and they need something for themselves. And my philosophy and my tagline is the arts heal the hearts. So I decided to reopen this and really give music and dance programs to kids in need and families in need. And I loved every minute of it because watching those kids excel on something that they feel that they're giving from their heart, that's where the magic happens. And when I saw, like, we started a dance class and we were going to do it over several weeks, every week I would come back and the kids would come, Miss Tina, let me show you what we did. Let me show you how much we've improved. And that was my greatest joy. So I fed on that. And I was always their champion. I was always their advocate. I was always their cheerleader. And that's just who I am with everything that I do and anyone that I would come across with.
So tell me your story. What made it so important for you to be there for young people, especially those who didn't have a home?
I'm an empath, and I always feel other people's pleasure and pain all day, every day. And I haven't really decided yet if this is a blessing or a curse, but this is a gift that I have. And I wasn't sure how to place it or where to utilize it. But what I always knew is that children have such innocence. And that is the time that we can really inspire and ingratiate and integrate things from the heart and give them the confidence and give them the ability to explore what they have in their hearts.
Yeah.
And from day one, I just love being around kids. I just feel like they are the future. And when you see them grow and you give them positive reinforcement and you are supportive, the world opens up and you never know where it could go from there. And that's what really fuels me.
Beautiful. So where did you go from there? I mean, tell us a little bit about Italy first.
Okay. Well, I decided to book a trip for April 2024 after several years of many challenges. And I think that's really where the story started. If you don't mind, I'd like to go back there because I think it kind of builds on what happened to me in Italy.
Mhm.
As I was mentioning, I reopened my charity and everything was starting to move forward. And at the beginning of 2020, we were going to be doing we had a big program. We had a big music event and I was gathering the artists. I was gathering the dance instructors. I was gathering the singers to put the groups together for this big production. 2 weeks before, we had all the sponsors lined up. 2 weeks before, COVID hit. So I'm sure a lot of us could really relate to what has
Yes.
happened, and they're about to go to that next level. And we all had a pivot at that moment. But at that moment, I sat home and I said, how am I supposed to integrate everything we're doing in person? And how am I going to do this online? So at that point, I started getting all of the artists together, scheduling the times, getting everybody's workbook ready, putting out emails. I was working 24/7 of just organizing and managing everything. And it was very, very difficult, but I was working from 7 till midnight, 7 a.m. till midnight just to get this going. I had like an obsession to make sure that this worked.
Yeah.
Over the course of time, I had a dental issue and I happened to go to the dentist. I had a big surgery, and literally the surgery was botched and I lost the ability to speak well. And I was in chronic pain for 3 years. So I lost my voice. And at that point, I actually lost my identity. And it was a very, very dark time for me. And I didn't know how to move forward because my whole life was cheering people on and hopefully spreading joy and love and happiness. And I couldn't do that anymore. I didn't know who I was anymore. So those few years were really difficult. And in addition, I saw the decline of my father. And that was really heartbreaking. So between the grief, his passing, and me losing my identity, the darkness came into me every single day, and I really didn't know how to move forward. So that was a really trying time for me. And I realized January 2024, I had another surgery that fixed my ability to speak, and I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't in as much pain. And I said, at that point, I have to take a trip.
Okay.
And that's when I decided I'm going to take this amazing trip to Italy and to Europe to listen to the music and their architecture and the art world. And I couldn't wait to reclaim me because I love that so much. And my niece was studying abroad. She was
Okay.
studying in Florence for the semester. And I said, let me go, let me see her, and then I'll continue the trip because this was the good kickoff to my trip. She was there. I wanted to see her. I finally needed to get out and enjoy life again. And hopefully this was going to be that healing experience that was my endeavor. So I packed my bags and off I went.
Oh, that is so adventurous. What made you think that that trip would create the healing that you needed?
Well, first of all, like I said, my niece was there and I hadn't seen her for over a year, and she lives in New York. And she was going to school in Florida. So we were missing each other and I hadn't
Oh,
really seen her. So that was really the deciding factor. But in addition, I haven't really done anything for myself. I have friends in Paris and London, and I said, I need to take this trip. Let me see my niece. Let me go to Venice, which I hadn't been to before. Let me go back to Paris and London, see friends, and see the culture. I have a very old soul, and I love the old world. I love everything about it. So I knew this would feed my soul. And that's why I decided to go.
how long were you there for?
Oh, I was supposed to be there for a month. I booked the trip for a month. I kind of had an open ticket and I decided, well, I'm going for a month, but if I could stay longer, I would. So my first adventure was Florence.
Mm-hmm.
So I met with Gabby and we had a couple of wonderful days. I took some painting classes. I painted the Duomo, which was a very big feat because I'm not an artist. I'm like just sitting there and amazed at how massive it was and how incredibly beautiful it was. But the one thing that I always learned and what I shared it with you is that doing anything creatively, it's your own creation. So it's subjected to everybody else's beauty or what they think is good or what is not. But
Yeah.
that let me explore my own creativity again. And it was a big task, but I loved every moment of it. And I had wine tours booked, cooking classes, a Venetian mask painting for Venetian masks. So I had a whole bunch of things planned with my niece, and she couldn't make it a couple of days. And on a Saturday afternoon, I decided I was going to the Uffizi and the Academia Museum.
Mhm.
That's where everything is housed with all of the main masterpieces of the Renaissance period. And that is where the David statue is.
Yes.
Incredible. So along the way, I'm taking photos. I was on a walking tour, having a wonderful time. I get back to my hotel and I open my bag. Now, my wallet is gone. Okay, so here's my money, my wallet, my credit cards, my license, it's all gone. But the one savior is that I had my passport locked in the safe. So, took a deep breath. I called Gabby. I said, "Look, I can't meet you for dinner. I've got to cancel all my credit cards." She comes flying over, knocking at the door. She hands me $1,000 in cash. She goes, "You're going to continue your trip." I call the bank. I cancel all my credit cards, and they're going to forward me a new credit card when I got to Venice. So we continued on the path, and we had an amazing next couple of days. The one important factor was we went to a Seder for Passover. That was the first night of Passover at a Chabad in Florence. I don't know if you know what Passover is about, but it's the story of the exodus of the Jews leaving Egypt when they were enslaved for over several hundred years. So that was the story of how we pass through, why we eat all the different kinds of foods, why we eat matzah, which is a flat cracker, not a bread. And we relived that whole experience. And it was really about how we survived, how the Jews were resilient. They didn't know what was happening moving forward. They just knew they couldn't stay enslaved and in fear and in darkness any longer. So this was really relating not only to me, but to everyone out in the world, whether you're Jewish, you're Catholic, you're Christian, we all go through our own exodus. We all
Yes.
go through our fear and we move forward into the new light.
Yes.
So that's where I realized that was what was happening to me at that moment. So the timing was really pretty incredible.
Wow. It sounds like you are very close to your niece. And it also sounds like she is a very protective. You guys have a very special connection.
Yes,
Getting that.
we do. She's really the daughter I've never had. And
Uh,
my sister-in-law always jokes. She goes, "I can't. I gave birth to you. She is your daughter. How did I give birth to her?" So we laugh about it because she also has that entrepreneurial spirit. She's
yes.
always creating something. She's always been that leader, and she always had her own ideas and the vision of something different. So I think that's where the chemistry is so much more intense than just a niece and aunt connection.
Did you feel like you had any connection to Michelangelo's the David statue when you were there, seeing that um, you know
That huge sculpture.
that huge, very poised hero in front of the Goliath, or that very huge character, thinking about the battle with Goliath, and now this beautiful sculpture is housed, you know, in the gallery in France. But I don't think anything is coincidence, and I feel like seeing the giant
Mm.
David at the time when you were going through so much must have, I don't think it's coincidence, must have given you some kind of strength. Or what do you think about, the timing of that?
You know, I didn't know that my wallet was taken at that point.
Yeah.
But everything that I had gone through for the past few years, and being surrounded by all of that incredible art and
Yeah.
the talent that you must have in order to create something like that is
Yes.
so incredibly overwhelming to think about. I
Yeah.
mean, how they sculpted this and they created this big entire statue, that's what really moved me. And,
Yeah.
every also the Renaissance paintings from the past, from thousands of years ago, really moved me. And you could literally see how every era changed. And as we grow from stage to stage, from decade to decade, you saw the evolvement of how people would paint, how people would see things and sculpt. And that always moved me. There's something in me, I've had that my whole life, about the arts and music and dance.
Yes.
So I think that just kind of took my breath away, and the reflection of like, how was it that this person was able to sculpt such an amazing statue? So I think that's really what inspired me. It
Yeah.
just inspired me to open up my mind to other possibilities.
Yes. Now tell us about your message and your book.
Okay, so Fear to Faith was really based on my nightmare in Italy, robbed twice in 3 days, left with no passport, no money, no credit cards, no ID, and honestly, no way home. And
Mm.
the fear and the panic that overwhelmed me mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, every emotion was they were doing mental gymnastics. Literally, like you're running up and down, you're going sideways, you're moving in all different directions. I literally couldn't breathe,
Yeah.
and I really did not know how I was going to get home. And at that moment, at one time during that whole entire journey, I felt like a homeless immigrant. I mean,
Mm.
in the middle of Italy with no ID, no money. I couldn't even get any money because I had no ID to prove who
Right.
I was.
Right.
So for one moment, I had a glimpse of how other people could possibly be feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And it hurt my heart. It totally hurt my heart that other people could be going through this the same way I am, even though this is not my life.
And that would have been, for them, it's more permanent. It's a longer period.
Right, right. So
Yeah.
it was everything that I was going through. I mean, every emotion I was feeling every moment. And as I had mentioned, as an empath, I feel everything much stronger. So this was a crazy journey, and what could go wrong did go wrong. And quite honestly, if I didn't live it, I wouldn't believe it. I
Wow.
literally would not believe it. So that's where the book came into play.
Was it hard for you to put your feelings into words?
When I got home from this nightmare, I started writing this as a movie. I
Hmm.
never intended to write the book. So I started writing it as a movie because I saw it as a suspenseful thriller. Like I'm actually living this every moment for weeks, every single day, and I couldn't breathe. And there were times that I said, please God, please, I cannot die on the streets of Italy alone. You've you've given me too much to do. I've gone through so much in the past. You can't leave me here after everything I've gone through. There's got to be something else on the other side for me.
Wow. You
So
you'd
it, it,
already faced so much before that Italy trip, and then to be on that trip and going through all of the twists and turns and the
yeah,
hurdles, and damn near feeling helpless.
hmm, totally.
How did you get the courage to say, you know what, I'm going to share this story because something changed in you. You became a totally different woman.
I
How did
did.
you? Yeah, did put did writing it become like another path that you really needed to take?
Very good question. As I had mentioned, I started writing this as a movie. I wrote the script, I wrote the treatment, I gave it to a producer friend, and I said, "You know what happened to me?" And he read it and he said, "Tina, this is great. However, you need to write a book." I
Mm-hmm.
said, "What?" He goes, "You need to write a book. Nobody's going to know about this. Your book is your story. You'll do the movie after." And I go, "I have to write the book. Oh my God, I have to write a book. Oh my God, I don't want to do this." And the next day, I started writing it because I knew that I had to relive every moment of that fear and that panic. But as I started writing it, every moment of that day, I realized that this isn't just my story. This is your story. This is your neighbor's story. This could be your daughter's story. This could be your grandmother's story, because we all have gone through fear and pain and survival. And I know how you feel. And that's why I was putting it on paper. As I was writing it, I was writing it for you and everyone else, because I know what it feels like to have that major fear and that panic and that trauma, not knowing how you are going to survive it. But I felt everything. So I literally was writing it for everyone else and not for me.
So I'm glad you answered that question, because that was going to be my next question. Who are you writing it for? But also for the person who's listening right now, who feels like they are stripped, like they have lost everything, and they don't know what to do next. What would you say to them?
So going back to this, the book is based on survival,
Mm-hmm.
self-discovery through spirituality. And I think as we all go and we grow up, and some people have faith infiltrated into their everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't. Some people just say, "Hey, this is who I am," but they don't really show up at their spiritual places, whether it could be a church, it could be a temple, it could be wherever it might be. They might not show up. But if you really look at yourself and you think about the miracle of life, God, or whatever you want to call it, your spirit, your nature that's inside of you, God gave you a gift and you feel. And that's why when I was talking about the kids and the beginning of, their excitement, their innocence, we're there because we're feeling something from our hearts.
Yeah.
So I believe that God is guiding us through our heart. And as we go and we do things, we build companies, we're mothers, we're caretakers, you're giving to everyone else, you're building businesses,
Yeah.
you're dealing with everything. You start forgetting about what made you who you are. What is the real passion that you have inside? And I do believe going through trauma and going through pain and suffering, and your pain and suffering is definitely not mine, being stranded in Italy, having nothing, to get home with and having no identification. However, a divorce, a financial collapse, an illness of a parent, a sickness of a child, those are real, true pain that we've all gone through, or most people have gone through.
Yes.
So that emotion, I already know how you're feeling with that, because we all go through that emotion. So I am just here to tell you that I actually do know how you feel. Now, did you ever realize that, Denise, when somebody comes to you and they go, and you're going through something, a trauma, and they come over and they go, "Hey, I know how you feel." And you say, "No, you don't know how I feel."
Mm.
Because they can only imagine or think they know, but they really don't know how you're feeling in your heart. So on my pages, I'm hoping that somebody can see that feeling, that emotion, and how I persevered by my strength, the resilience that I have, and my faith. And my faith is what guided me through. So I'm here to share that you have all gone through this. So you are stronger than you think. You're more resilient than you think. And if you want to tap into your faith, nobody is stopping you. Find the light that's guiding you, whether you call it God, whether you call it your spiritual connection, whatever it is, tap into that. That will help you go forward. And the
Yes.
most important thing is, as well, find the right people to surround yourself with.
Yes.
You're strong people, supportive people, people who are always uplifting and empowering. And that will help you get through your dark times.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. Faith isn't the absence of fear.
Correct.
It's what's still standing after fear, and that is everything we need to know.
Correct.
Faith isn't the absence of fear. You are still going to have fear when you're going through uncertain times.
Correct.
But faith isn't where you say, you know what, because I have faith now, the fear is gone.
Right.
It
Oh,
is, yes, it's what's still standing after the fear.
correct. And what I have learned or what I have seen from people who never really had faith,
Yeah,
and they know how my faith has been my guiding light,
yeah,
they're realizing maybe she's got something here. Because when everything else is stripped from you and you don't have anything else, where do you go? Where is your belief? How do you
mm,
move forward? So whether you have practiced your faith, maybe for somebody who is really going through darkness,
yeah,
pick up the Bible, whether
yeah,
it's the Old Testament, whether it's the New Testament, and open it up and just read a couple of paragraphs and see
yeah,
how the day is guided by that. Because
yes,
it's only the goodness and it's only the thought of something bigger and
yes.
better and more emotional.
And I like to think that when you run out of faith, or when you run out of, when you faith is what you fall into when you run out of plans. That's what I'm thinking. You make plans, and then you realize, okay, these plans keep getting interrupted.
Correct.
Stand on your faith at this point. Call on your faith. Start reading. Maybe you don't have the Bible, maybe you have a different faith, but start
Correct.
standing on who you believe in. If you believe in the Creator, start standing on your belief that the Creator created you for a purpose, and stand on that faith. That is beautiful, Tina.
Right. And it was always embedded in me. I was raised, my grandfather, an Orthodox rabbi who immigrated from Poland to the United States before World War II,
Mm-hmm.
was a man of God. He was courageous, kind, compassionate, and caring and empathetic. So this was all instilled within our whole family from day one. We were
Yes.
guided by his spirit, and he walked with morals and values and dignity. And that's what he instilled in us. So everything about God was already there. Whether we actually choose to utilize it and, and use it as we grow is one thing. And a lot of people I know who have had that, whether they were raised in a traditional Catholic background, Jewish background, Orthodox background. Some of us don't really apply it on our everyday basis, but what I have found is that when we are going through a lot of struggles and sacrificing, tapping into that once again reminds us that there's something bigger than us.
Yes.
Not about us. There's a reason why we had to take this path to get to another level, for us to grow, and hopefully us to share and empower others and lift them up, because isn't that what we're here for?
Is that why you created Hugs and Smiles Foundation?
Like I said, I've always loved kids because they inspire me every day. And a very petite girl, and I can hang with them, and they kind of want to hang with me. I'm older. I can kind of guide them and be the leader, but some of them are bigger than I am. So they go, oh, she can hang with us. I want to hang with her. They're 8, they're 10, they're 13. Some of them are 5'10", I'm 5'1". So here I am. So together, we're just bringing joy to the world. And it's not only for the kids. I mean, when your child is doing something fun and you see them having joy, look at the parents, look at their sisters, look at the brothers. We all laugh. We're all happy. There's something about that. And I believe whatever and whoever created us, God created us, He created us for that reason, to excel, to flourish, to create something that's bigger than we are.
And to love each other. Yes. To love each other. Yeah.
So
to
much
create
easier.
hugs and smiles for each other.
Hugs and smiles. Everyone gets a hug and a smile, and it
Yes.
makes them happy. So I guess that's why I created that name. It's like,
Yes.
oh, you know what? It's a hug and a smile. Like,
Everybody
cool.
gets one.
I like
You
that.
get a hug, you get a smile. You get a hug, you get a smile.
Exactly.
Where can we find your book?
You can go to my website. It's on Amazon right now. You can go to my website, tinaweiss.com, and there is a button that takes you directly to buy, and it takes you directly to Amazon. And I also do have a free gift. And right below that, please, I invite you to click on that button, get your free gift. It's about the five essentials of life, 5 do's and don'ts. This might make your day a little easier to navigate. So that's where you can find me. In addition, what I'd like to share and invite others, if you go to my website and you see the contact button, write me a note and share with me how you have gone from your pain to purpose, your trauma to triumph, and how your fear took you to faith. I'd love to know your story, because right now I'm looking at some incredible women who have given everything to everyone else, and they always forget about themselves.
Oh my goodness, that is so true.
It's so true. And we're working till midnight and like, wait a minute, what about me?
Yes.
I want to hear their story, because I want to take their story into my next book and showcase who they are and how they got past all of those struggles as well. And I think it's really important for all of us to share our story, because we are the creator of our own life.
Yes.
Nobody else can tell us what we need to do.
Yes.
So I want to hear your story, and I'd love to be able to choose a handful of them and feature it into our next book, to also share with others, to uplift them and, empower them if they're going through a very dark time.
I always teach women, I teach people to embrace your story. The difficult times, they do come, but that's because you can overcome those difficult times. That's because those times are going to teach you. You're going to become more resilient. You're going to find out who you're truly made of after you come through the storm. And so embrace your story and stand on your story with confidence. And this is a place where now you can stand on your story and share it with others, because when people find familiarity, when they see someone that's gone through something that they've gone through, it empowers them.
Right.
So I implore you, follow Tina, get on her website, and join that community so that you can stand on your story with confidence.
Oh my God. Denise, you just really touched my heart. And I want to share something else with your audience. I want you to realize you're bolder than you think you are. You're braver than you are. You're stronger than you are. And you're smarter than you think you are. And don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise. And follow your heart and follow your dream, because you're the only one that's living it. It's not for the next person. You've got to live with yourself.
Yes.
For them, for you. So
What's a bold promise that you can share with the audience? That was very strong. I love that already. But what's a bold promise that you can say? If I promise you, if you do this, this will happen.
I promise you, if you step into your faith, whatever your faith is, you will go further. You will reach the light because you don't want to stay in fear and darkness. You have a choice to go from light to faith, whatever that looks like for you. So,
Yes.
what do you want to do? Darkness or light? You have the choice. So, knowing that, what do you want to do now? Do you want to reach out to your friends and family who always is positive, or do you want to still go to those people who are always negative and always telling you you can't, and the others are telling you you can? So be
Thank you.
bold.
That was a good one. That was a good one. What's a bold statement that you can share that will cause a paradigm shift?
What I plan on doing and what my intention is, as mentioned, first of all, I'm writing this movie because I want people, not everybody is going to see the book, but they
Mhm.
might be able to tap into that movie because it's going to show the insight into someone who's struggling and how do we get through every moment of that day to get to the other side. It shows resilience. It shows your strength. And the fact is, you might not think that you have it, but if you've
Mhm.
gone through decades and you've raised a family, you're dealing and helping your parents now, they're older. You have somebody might have a sickness in your family. You have created companies. You've made money. You've lost money. You thought everything was going great and then you declined. You've gone through all of this. So you are that bold, and don't you forget it. And sometimes we allow ourselves to go into that dark place and you can't get out. But just know that my story is your story. So please find that way, pick up the book, go into your own path and know that, wow, Tina knows, I feel it. I feel her and I feel all of you. We can do this together because community is about growth, and together we can do it. We can do it, we can grow, we can excel, we can have the happy life that we all want and we deserve.
Whew. I did not see in your bio that you were a preacher.
Am I a preacher? Oh my God.
You're amazing. This is just wonderful. So encouraging, so motivational. I
um,
appreciate it.
Thank you. It's so funny that you even said that because, like I said, I come from a family of rabbis, and I
Uh-huh.
never really thought of me as a preacher. I just love to encourage other people. I always loved bringing out the best in them. It was never about me. Like, that's why I didn't want to write the book. I didn't want the focus on me. I wanted it on everyone else. But I realized my story, I believe, can really empower others. And that's what I'm hopeful for. So I really thank you for that and saying, you're gonna make me cry. Thank you for saying that.
Yes, because you are amazing. And I can hear it in every word that you say that there's something special and different. And I know that it's not just coming from you. There's something else. You're connected. You have a deeper connection. So, people, if you are listening, this is your moment. God is leading you. There are no coincidences, but divine synchronicities. And this is your message when you're hearing this and you're getting that move, that voice that is telling you, listen to your intuition. This is your time to move. Your story will make a difference, and it's going to help someone else. Now, Tina, I have a tendency to making people cry, so don't
I
worry.
cry at every cry. When you're telling me this, I cry. That's what I do. Can't help myself.
What's a bold move that you would like to make in the future?
Well, the bold move is, as I said, I'm writing the movie, but I also have a series of fear to faith, of a
Mhm.
different journey of different people who have been struggling and how they have found faith to guide them to a better life. So it's the movie, it's a series, but the main important event is going back to hugs and smiles.
Mhm.
My heart is with those kids. And when I started Hugs and Smiles, my whole vision was doing a TV show like like the talent shows that are out there, like
Yes.
American Idol, The Voice, America's Got Talent, Dancing with the Stars. And I said, these kids who really don't have much, I'd like to do a show like that and bring them on. And the winners or the ones that go to another level get scholarships so they can really move forward in their life. And that's really my dream, is to really.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I'm working on that. That's really where
It's
I'm
going to
doing the
happen.
rest of my life. So that.
And you're going to come back and tell us about it.
Okay, well, I'll tell you. Yes, I'm working on a few projects right now, but it's all leading to that. So I realized, you know what? God gave me another purpose. And I realized that when I got home, it's not just about, like I always knew when I was doing makeovers in the garment industry, I imported textiles from Asia at the time. I took the fabrics, I created my own clothing. I saw people, they came to me. I loved just doing a makeover for them, because a simple makeover of knowing what to wear at what event just changes the whole trajectory of somebody, and
Yeah.
they're feeling powerful again. I love that. So I knew that I was always like, even opening my skincare company, I had a product that was helping them get rid of cellulite. That was the product. They felt better. I was working with kids through the arts. They felt better. And I knew that there was something else. Like, how am I supposed to take my my empathy or that feeling of joy and implementing it? Where do I put this? And I realized it's not about doing makeovers. It's not for clothing. It's not about the skincare.
It's
It's not
bigger than
only about the music, art, and dance. This is kind of a movement that I
that.
feel that I have to put out there, that everyone will be a part of, that we all can do a little something to bring a little brightness and sunshine into other people's lives. So that is really what I'm experiencing or feeling, that is my calling. And there's no going, I can't put the genie back in the bottle. I remember a friend saying, what if the book doesn't sell? What if you don't do this? I go, you know what? The people who want to find it will find it. People
Mm-hmm.
who will like it. And there will be other people who don't, because unfortunately today we're living in a world of good and evil. And unfortunately, there are people who don't believe in that, and they don't want to believe in it. They just don't want it. So
Yeah.
there are going to be people who are going to be the naysayers and the negative. Like I said, this is my path. This is my calling right now. I can't stop the train. It left the station.
It's
So here
left
I am.
already, honey. Yes.
This is it. So if somebody wants to be involved with our group and our community, and people want to be enlightened or uplifted, we're it. I have a community. I look back on my life and living in New York, California, and Florida while I was building all of these companies. I have met extraordinary people of all walks of life. And some of them have grown with me and have stayed with me, and others have stopped at a certain place because that's where they are.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm finding after 20 years, a friend reached out, and we just lost contact because, I'm where I am and are where they are. But and I walked away with love. We were just not on the same page. And you
Yeah.
can't be friends to hundreds of people every day and speaking to them every day or every week, but in my heart, I said, they're a good person. They're going to find the light. And they're reaching out and they go, oh my God, Tina, you have changed. You really empowered me. And I'm so happy.
Oh, wow. So you needed that time, that separation, so that you can find yourself and she can find herself.
Right.
Now you come back together, and now you are contributing to each other's lives, because it's burdensome when you're growing and expanding and you feel like you can't, remain friends with people.
Right.
Just let it go.
Right.
or let them. Sometimes you don't have to say anything; they'll just fall off by themselves. But
Right. That's it.
yep,
They can't have, right.
you
There are
can't help
people
it.
that want to continue to elevate
Yeah,
and empower and be kind and grow. And I'm really grateful that I have an amazing community where I am right now. And
yeah,
it's really, I mean, every day I just cannot believe these incredible people that really help me move forward and empower me every day. I can't do this alone. I need others that are going to be encouraging. You
yeah,
know, I need that. You need that. We all need that encouragement to
yes.
move forward if we have an idea that we want to implement. We're not quite sure where to turn or who to turn to.
And guys, some people are just in your life for a season. It doesn't mean that they're bad. It doesn't mean that they're good. It just means that they come in your life for a purpose. And you
Correct.
may not even like them, but it's okay because there's a lesson if you listen.
There you go. There is a lesson in that actually through my whole book, through my
Uh-huh.
18 chapters, there is a lesson at the end of every chapter.
Yes.
So you'll find lessons and reflections, some good, some bad. Oh my God, it really, that whole journey really, I had reflections and memories of near death experiences. And I had conversations with God every day and said, look, you cannot leave me here to die, as you know. And I had reflections of the past of some horrible scenarios, and I survived it. And
Yeah.
that's when I knew, you know, I know a lot of us also have gone through some near death experiences. And sometimes we sweep it under the rug. And I'm here to say that's not a good idea. I know what I've done. I've swept it under the rug. I put on a happy face. I never shared a lot of these things with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Maybe if I did, maybe my life would have been different. But at this moment, somebody asked me the other day, would you change that journey of your time in Italy? And I
Good
said,
question.
absolutely not, because God put me on this path for a bigger purpose right now.
And you're serving that purpose one day at a time, one step at a time,
Exactly.
with
Exactly.
hugs and smiles.
With hugs and smiles. Yes. Remember, give a hug, give a smile, and it's going to change somebody's whole entire day. When you give them a compliment, I remember I was at the supermarket and the girl was sitting behind the cash register and she didn't really look very happy. And I turned around and go, oh my God, I love your top. It brings out your eyes or whatever. And she had the biggest smile. And I said, look at that beautiful smile you have. You should use it a little bit more often. She turned around, she goes, you made my day.
Oh, wow. Tina, you are just amazing. And I believe that this is a conversation that a lot of people needed to hear today. So thank you for coming to our show and thank you for sharing your book. You
Uh,
know, it's, I haven't read your book yet, but I already know that it's going to resonate with me because it's fear to faith. And
we all live that, right? We all live from
exactly.
fear,
It's a
and we try to find
universal
the light.
language. Yes. So thank you so much for coming to the Bold Book of the Day and for sharing that and for giving permission to someone out there that is feeling the struggle right now. Just know that it is not over. Your fear doesn't get the last word.
Correct.
Your faith does. So stand on your faith because one day you'll be able to stand on your story with confidence.
Correct. And I just want to share with you and your audience. I don't know what happened to my Zoom here, but the light is funny. So I'm sorry if this is a little
You're
disconcerting.
looking good. You're
I
looking
know
good.
it's light and it's a little funky, but thank you. I really appreciate you being here, and I just love what you do and how you get online and you do this for other people to share their stories. It's very, very important because a lot of people feel alone these days and they feel isolated and they don't want to get up and out. And I know how that feels. For 3 years, I was hiding under the cover and I was saying every day, I don't know if I want to be here. So I know that you've been going through. So if you're there, know that there are people out here who you can reach out to.
Yes.
You can get up and you could get out and just find that right person, because in your community, in your family dynamic, might not be everyone in your family dynamic. You might not like everyone in your family, but there might be one or two people that you trust, you like, and you respect, and you know that they will listen and they'll be there for you. Go to your business people, business associates. Find that person that is inspiring for you, and and if you trust them and you feel comfortable, share what you need. They're willing to help. People want, innately, we are human beings. We're human, and we want to help. We want to uplift. We want to share. So don't forget that, stand up, without, even though you're afraid, because I'm still afraid.
But you did it anyway. You did
Right.
it anyway. And
Right.
Tina,
Right.
your story is proof that the things that break us don't get the final say. The
Right.
fear, it doesn't get the final say. The shame that you feel when you go through some things, it doesn't get the final say. The anger, the hurt, the pain, the sadness does not get the final say. So
Correct.
if you have gone through some things and you have some lessons that you would like to share, if you want to write a book and you just don't know how to start or where to start, please come to our write-in community. We help you write your book, get it out of your head, and publish. You can send for information to info@boldpublishings.com, or you can send it, just go to boldpublishings.com. That's the website, boldpublishings with the S.com.
And I'd like to share, if I could be part of that community, I can share the do's and don'ts of writing, because this was not an easy journey. So I hope to help people avoid the pitfalls when it comes to the book, and also pitfalls for business, since I've created several of my own from scratch. So
Where do you live now?
I'm in Florida.
Okay, so you have to come to New York to our authors conference in September.
Oh, when it's September? I'm coming in September. When it's
September 17th to the 20th.
Oh my God, I'm going to be in New York at that time.
Oh my God, did I say there were no coincidences?
No coincidence. I love it. I'm coming. Yay.
All right, I'm going to send you all the details so you can start to book your flight.
Oh my God. And to everyone out there, if you have a question and you just want to say, hey, Tina, I really need to talk to you, write me. You'll see the contact page. Write me an email. I will get back to you. Tell me what your fear is, what you're going through, how you think I can help you, and we'll have a 15-minute consult so I can share and hopefully guide you in the right direction.
Beautiful. If today's episode moved you, go pick up a copy of Fear to Faith, and also connect with Tina at tinaweiss.com.
Thank you for joining us for the Bold Book of the Day with Dr. Denise Nicholson, a central hub and a safe space for authors to share their stories. Follow Dr. Denise on Facebook and Instagram at Denise Nicholson, or go to denisenicholson.com. Remember, no one can share your story better than you.